Ethan Montgomery had built his empire on power, precision, and control. To him, emotions were a weakness, and marriage was nothing more than a merger. When his father arranged his union with Amara Williams, the daughter of a respected political family, he agreed out of convenience, not affection. She was poised, intelligent, and breathtakingly self-assured, but in Ethan's eyes, she was simply part of the deal that would secure his company's future. From the very first night, he treated her with cold politeness, never cruelty but never warmth. Amara noticed the distance but refused to beg for attention. She held her head high, facing society's whispers that she was the unwanted wife. Behind closed doors, she endured the loneliness with quiet strength, teaching herself that love could not be forced. Ethan watched her from afar sometimes, noticing her grace and composure, though he pretended not to care. What he didn't realize was that her silence wasn't surrender, it was resilience. And that strength, though he would never admit it, began to unsettle him in ways he didn't yet understand. For Ethan, the marriage was nothing more than a contract tied to a massive corporate merger. He told himself that once the deal was finalized, he would file for divorce and return to his lover, Vanessa, a glamorous socialite who adored his money more than his heart. But fate played its own hand. Amara overheard one of his private phone calls to Vanessa, where he confessed he planned to end the marriage within months. Her chest tightened, but she refused to let tears fall. Instead of confronting him, she redirected her pain into purpose. She began hosting charity galas, launching empowerment projects, and building a reputation of her own. The world started noticing her charm, her intelligence, her leadership. Headlines soon referred to her as the heart of the Montgomery legacy, and her photo graced magazine covers. Ethan's board members spoke of her with admiration, and for the first time, he felt overshadowed by the woman he had planned to discard. The quiet wife he ignored had become a force he could no longer dismiss. When Vanessa decided to destroy Amara, she leaked a private photo of herself and Ethan, igniting a media storm. Gossip outlets labeled Amara as the rejected wife, painting her as pitiful and naive. But Amara refused to bow to humiliation. She faced the cameras with steady eyes and delivered a statement that silenced the mockery. A woman's worth isn't defined by the loyalty of a man but by the loyalty to herself. Her poise and wisdom struck the public like thunder. Within hours, her words went viral, turning her into a symbol of dignity. Ethan watched the broadcast in silence, the weight of guilt pressing against his chest. While his reputation suffered under scandal, Amara's soared higher than ever. For the first time, he saw her not as an obligation, but as the embodiment of power, courage, and grace. The woman he had overlooked was now the only person he respected, and perhaps the only one he truly feared losing. But karma came swiftly. Vanessa's greed led her to sell confidential company data, throwing Ethan's business into chaos. Investors withdrew, deals collapsed, and his empire trembled. In the midst of his downfall, Amara returned, not with bitterness but with resolve. She stepped into the boardroom, negotiated with key investors, and salvaged what he thought was lost. Her intelligence stunned even his most loyal executives. Late nights spent analyzing reports turned into silent moments of shared focus between them. Ethan watched her, the way her eyes shone under the soft glow of the desk lamp, the way she never complained. It dawned on him then, this woman was everything he wasn't: patient, compassionate, unbreakable. Each word she spoke dismantled his arrogance piece by piece. Slowly, against his will, Ethan began to fall, not out of lust or guilt, but out of genuine admiration. Haunted by his cruelty, Ethan could no longer bear the weight of silence. One evening he confessed everything: his selfishness, his arrogance, his regret. His voice trembled as he admitted, "You deserved love, not indifference. And I failed you." But Amara didn't melt under his words. She looked at him with the calm strength of someone who had already healed herself. "Love can't grow," she said softly, "where respect never existed." Her words pierced deeper than anger could. Yet something inside Ethan shifted. He began changing, not for appearances but for redemption. He broke off contact with Vanessa completely, made public statements honoring Amara's work, and stood beside her foundation projects. People saw a different Ethan Montgomery, a man humbled by the woman he once dismissed. Still, Amara's heart remained guarded. Forgiveness, she knew, could not be rushed. Time became their quiet teacher. Ethan's persistence was gentle and patient. He began accompanying Amara to events, not as the controlling husband, but as a partner who listened. When exhaustion took a toll on her health and she was hospitalized for stress, Ethan never left her side. He held her hand through sleepless nights, his once cold eyes now full of remorse and care. "You taught me that strength isn't silence, it's surviving what breaks you," he whispered one night, voice trembling. That confession broke through her walls. For the first time she saw sincerity in him, not the billionaire but the man beneath. Slowly, trust began to rebuild, fragile yet real. Their love, once born of obligation, began to flourish out of mutual respect and emotional rebirth. Theirs was no longer a contract, it was a choice. Years later, the world saw Amara Williams Montgomery as more than a wife. She was a symbol of transformation. She founded a global women's empowerment foundation and co-led several business ventures alongside Ethan. Their marriage, once shrouded in scandal, had evolved into a beacon of forgiveness and strength. During an anniversary gala, Ethan took the stage. His voice steady yet emotional as he said, "She wasn't the woman I chose, but the woman who chose to make me better." The room erupted in applause. Amara's smile was serene, her eyes glistening not with pride but peace. Their love story wasn't about rescue, it was about redemption. Ethan didn't fall for her beauty or compliance. He fell for her power, her grace, her unwavering strength, the kind that turned betrayal into legacy and pain into purpose.